I'm Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, button pushers and wrench turners, welcome to another episode of Something's Broken. I had to think about the title. Forgot the title. Shit. Oh, I'm not ready. My name's Tayler Goodyear, and I own TG CNC Service out of Wisconsin. We had a pretty good week last week between me and Contractor Cam. I'm going to go over a little bit of that with you. Monday, I had a old fucking goddamn DMG. Fuck that machine. Anyways, it showed up. They have an issue with the C-axis table oscillating. Like, just sitting there, just back and forth. So I wanted to disable the scale and just run off a motor encoder to try to eliminate the, maybe there's a feedback issue between the two of them. And boy, that was a fucking nightmare. And I couldn't get it to work. And I have a couple of guys, one that used to work for Heidenhain for years, and then another guy that's like a DMG fucking pro. I hit up both of those guys and was like, yo, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And I don't know. I couldn't get the fucking procedure to work. So I turned everything back and I talked to the guy from Heidenhain, and he was like, well, just lower the kVA output to the motor and see what happens. So I did that, and it seemed to have put a Band-Aid on it. Now that means that's not good from what I'm being told. Means that mechanically the table is going to have to be rebuilt. There's a lot of slop going on the table, and I could feel it. I could feel it grindy and it shifting back and forth. There's just so much fucking slop. So I let the customer know, like, hey, just be aware. Like, this is only a Band-Aid, and it's only going to get worse, and eventually you're going to need to build the table. And this is a old DMG, like, very fucking old. So I don't know if they're just like, you know what, if it gets to that point, we're just going to toss it and replace it. So who knows? Tuesday I had kind of two meetings. I had one meeting down in Aurora, Illinois, at a customer that overheard me in an airport, and then reached out to me and then brought me in to start doing PM services on his Mazak machines. So that Tuesday was the meeting for that, of me going down there and just getting eyes on what he's got and whatnot. And so we got the first machine figured out. I'm just waiting on him to send me the parts list. And then I can start putting together the parts list to get the shit ordered to do the PM process and then schedule it. So right after that, I went to another customer in Rockford to they got two robo-cuts, and we have been trying to figure out tank seals on this fucking thing for, I don't know, 2 weeks now. Every number that we get out of the FANUC book that we give to Methods is telling us is not a correct number. We're like, it's in your book. It's in the fucking book. I'm looking at it. Like, what do you mean? We gave them two assembly numbers, and like, oh yeah, FANUC doesn't do assembly numbers. I'm like, huh? I'm looking at it in your book. It's giving me a number. They're like, yeah, that's all right. I'm like, oh man, okay. They're like, oh yeah, we need the breakdown numbers. I'm like, so okay, so I give you the breakdown numbers, and then they come back and say, it's not right either. I'm like, the fuck. Oh man. Dude, this one has been fucking driving me up, as you can see, dude. Like, this one's been fucking driving me nuts, man. We just been back and forth. And I told the customer, I was like, listen, take these pictures that I took, give it to them, be like, hey, we need the fucking seal that prevents this from leaking. Since none of the part numbers in your goddamn book is correct according to you. So we're going from there. So I haven't heard back yet, so hopefully there's some progress being made on that. But fuck, man. Wednesday, I had a new customer hit me up. They heard my radio ad. They hit me up. They're literally right down the street from one of my top customers. So I got up in there, They had a Mazak that they're having a ghost emergency stop issue on. So when I showed up, it the machine was fine. They were running it, but he had another Mazak T plus control, T plus or T32. I think it was T32. Yeah. Either way, doesn't matter. It was stuck in soft limit, so I fixed that for him. I just opened up the soft limit. What I think happened on some of these old Mazaks, if you go to home and out and you go negative instead of plus, it'll go past the switch and then you're fucking stuck. So um, I corrected that, opened up the soft limit, finally got it up to the switch, got it to read the switch, rehomed it several times, cycle machine power, turn it back on, no problem. I was there for, I don't know, 30 fucking minutes. I didn't even charge the customer. I was like, bro, I'm not going to charge you. I was, whatever, dude. Just call me in the future. And he's like, got it. So that was pretty cool. Thursday, Thursday, I had two different machine issues at another local customer. One was a old fucking Miata. They were having FANUC issues, FANUC alarms. Really, no alarms, but the main IO unit wasn't booting up, and I traced the 24 volt output from the power supply that actually gives the IO unit power to boot up, and it was bogging it down. So I was like, okay, so there's a short of some sort in the IO unit or the NC unit. So I pulled the NC unit out because you can slide those out, and some of them have fuses and shit, and you just gotta check them and whatnot. This one didn't. I didn't see any blown capacitors or anything like that on the board. I didn't see any burn marks. I was like, okay, well, that's good. So I pulled the IO unit, and the IO unit has a communication board. It's kind of like a voltage process board, I think. And then they have the actual IO communication board. And this little board sits on the backboard, is what I call it. I thought it was the little voltage communication board. And the customer had one and they swapped it. Like, no, that's not it. I was like, all right, so it's either the backboard or the NC. One of the two is causing a short and bogging down your 24 volts. I don't know. I can't really narrow it down and tell you which one over the other. The machine boots up just fine if you pull the 24 volt input into the IO unit. So that's definitely where it's at. Just it's a guessing game, unfortunately. FANUC gets the luxury of just coming in and just replacing shit until one of it works, and then they just charge you for whichever one they replaced that worked. I don't get that luxury to do that. So I think they were going to work on getting a backboard, but you know, my time was pretty much out. There was nothing else that I could do. So before I was going to leave, he was like, "Hey, we got a bar feeder. You want to work on that?" I'm like, I don't know shit about bar feeders, but okay, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Let's give it a crack. It was stuck in a flag e-stop alarm. One of the maintenance guys forwarded this email to me that basically explained how to factory reset the machine, and then you have to go through and retype every fucking parameter back in and yada yada yada, and set dimensions, bar diameters, all this shit. And I don't know how to do any of this shit because I've never really worked on edge bar feeders before, so this was completely new grounds for me. I did get it booted back up. I got all the alarms to clear. I did get the bar feeder to work somewhat properly. It was there. I don't know. It was really weird. It was like the first push, it wouldn't retract, so then the bar would start up at 4,000 RPM with a pusher on it, and then the pusher just fucking sit there like, it's not supposed to do that. Why the fuck is it doing that? And then on the second bar push, it acted normal. Like, it pushed the bar, retracted, machine fucking did its thing, cut it off, another bar push, and then on this third bar push, the same thing happened. Like, the pusher wouldn't retract, and it's on the bar, and it's fucking, yeah. So I was just like, hey man, there's some settings. I was talking to the head of maintenance guy. I was like, listen, I got this working. somewhat okay, but I don't know enough about the programming side of it to tell you what exactly is wrong with it now. I was like, you got to get somebody, like, you got to talk to Edge, or you got to get, like, a programming manual that kind of explains, like, how to program it, because I don't know how to do it, and I'm just going to sit here and kind of waste time, and I don't want to do that. He's like, no, we got somebody here that knows how to program it. We'll get him over here, but as long as it's working. I was like, yeah, it's working for sure. I just don't know how to program it further than what it is now. So he's like, all right, no problem. Thanks anyways. I was like, great. Friday, I took the day off. I was supposed to have a Doosan install, but the customer, some mix up with the electricians. They didn't get power ran to it, so I had to basically cancel the install and push it back, whatever. Either one, whatever. So I didn't get that, which is fine, whatever. Don't know if they'll actually call me sometime next week if they actually do get power ran to it, and then I can't guarantee I even got the time to do it when they do call me, because this was scheduled for about a week and a half out. So it's works better doing it that way for my scheduling, but it's all right. I'm getting a little slow. I'm starting to take in jobs that have been waiting, basically, for me. So I scheduled one of those waiting jobs for next week at one of my customers. It's a Femco lathe. They're having misindexes on it. It's hydraulic fucking indexing, dude. Just fucking hate hydraulic indexing. So I gotta dig into that, figure out what the fuck's going on, why it's misindexing, and then some interesting developments with a customer. If you guys listened to my previous episode, we solidified a service agreement, a 4-week long service agreement with a customer, and it was 2 days a week, 16 hours. Contractor Cam was taking care of that. Well, Contractor Cam, little ballsy motherfucker, goes to the head of the entire facility and is like talking to him about extending and increasing our presence in there. And the guy was completely on board for it. I was like, what? Because some of you might know, like, Cam works a W-2 job, and then he works for me for 2 days a week. Well, he don't want to do the W-2 anymore. He wants to come work with me full time. So we're trying to solidify work for him to have guaranteed work. Well, he was like, well, what if we just pitch increasing 3 days a week and we get a service agreement signed for a year? And I was like, dude, if you can pitch that to him, by all means. I mean, we do kind of have them in a corner because they're kind of fucked as far as maintenance repair goes, but dollar amount, when you're looking at those numbers, it's not ever nice, but you never know. So he mentioned that to him, and the guy was completely on board for it. So Cam called me excuse me. Cam called me and told me, and I was like, all right, I'll be there shortly. And sat down with him and talked to the head of facility. I was like, so is this something that you're interested in? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, okay, well, I will write up the agreement and I will write up the quote, and then it'll give you'll have a basic outlook of what it's going to cost you over a year to have us in here 3 days a week. And I think 3 days a week is good. It's better than 2, because 2 days a week, I think the other 3 days, there's just a lot that can happen in those 3 days that we're not there, and then it piles up, and then we have a shit show walking in, and then 2 days is sometimes not long enough to properly troubleshoot and diagnose and fix a machine. So and then they want Cam to actually build their PM system, which is great. They already have a software system in-house. They just want Cam to actually fucking build it. So I was like, okay, yeah. I asked Cam, I was like, Cam, you want to do this? He's like, fuck yeah, I want to do it. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I submitted that Friday, so we'll see. I know the head is out for, I don't know, I think he said a week or two or something like that. So we probably won't hear anything back for at least a week or two on whether or not he wants to do it or not. But once they sign that agreement, if they sign the agreement, it's it. Cam's coming on full time, so that's exciting. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do it once they see the dollar amount that they're gonna spend over a year. I just don't think it's gonna be logical for them to do it. But excuse me. I think you know, maintenance is a dying breed, man, and finding good maintenance guys is getting harder and harder by the day. And I think we're in a really good position where we're at. We're the cheapest service company within a fucking 150-mile radius of this entire southern Wisconsin area, and I do that on purpose. And I did my research, I did my due diligence before I made my rate sheet at the beginning of creating my company, because I knew that I had to be competitive somewhere. Otherwise, why the fuck would anybody bring me in? And money is really not a big deal to me, so I knew price point would be my leverage getting into customers, and it's done great. The idea has worked significantly for me. And then of course the quality of service has kept the consistency. So the dollar amount got me in, the quality kept me in. So don't ask me how I came up with that. I don't know. I don't know shit about business, but for some reason, this is what I came up with when I started my business, and it's worked. I don't know. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of it, but it's all worked. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, if they do, what the fuck? Okay, sorry. If they do bring us in for the 3 days, I mean that'd be fucking great, man. I mean, I love Cam. I love working with Cam. Cam's great. He's a great friend, and he's starting to do really good. And not that he hasn't been doing good, but he's now getting into roles that he's comfortable in. Like, Cam is a natural born, like, kind of like a leader. You know what I mean? Which is kind of like where him and I butt heads sometimes, because I'm a fucking leader too, somewhat. But we just bring balance to each other in my company, which is great. Like, I honestly couldn't ask for a better dude to work with and bring on full time, man. I'm fucking excited. I'm excited to start training him, like, very formally. And you know, I'm gonna eat a little bit of overhead paying him, you know, to train him. But I think where everything is going, I think it's very logical for us to do what we're doing in the way that we're doing it, and everything is going really good. I don't deserve it. I always tell myself, dude, I don't deserve how well this is going. I don't, and I'll never believe it, man. It's crazy. But anyways, thanks for following along, guys. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes I just ramble, and I don't fucking stop. But it's all exciting, man. All right, motivation time. Oh, I've talked about this shit a lot. Consistency and discipline. Now, when you're starting anything, it doesn't matter what it is, gym, losing weight, fucking a business. I mean, dude, anything that's new that you've never done before that requires discipline and consistency on top of it, dude, it is the hardest thing to do, but will grant you the biggest reward. I learned discipline kind of at a young age. I was a big wrestler in high school, so that's kind of where I learned discipline. Now, my discipline wasn't the greatest. I had some up and downs. You know, mentally I wasn't the greatest when it came to wrestling. Physically, I was pretty good. And as an overall wrestler, I was pretty good. But I could have been a lot better if I channeled my discipline and consistency correctly. and it's one of my biggest regrets to this day of how I ended my wrestling career. I won't get into it, but um, it's something that haunts me every fucking day. But I use it as motivation, and I use it to constantly keep myself on this track. Because once I'm on the track, staying on it is relatively easy for me. Um, the consistency, I think, is second to discipline. And the discipline you have to develop on your own. Nobody can teach you discipline. If you have motivation, great. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Like consistency. Like that's discipline will bring consistency. So whatever you're doing, whatever journey you're on, whatever new thing you're starting, whatever it is, man, more than likely somewhere down the road, um, it's going to take discipline and consistency. And if you can develop the discipline, if you want it bad enough, you have to want it bad enough to develop the discipline. And then once you got the discipline, dude, the consistency is just gonna come natural. Like you won't give up until you reach whatever it is that you're striving for. So develop those two, develop the discipline, and the consistency will develop with it. And then once you have those two together, dude, you are fucking unstoppable. Nothing can stop you unless something like really tragic happens, to where you just physically can't do it, or something. But waking up every day and you have that consistency and the discipline, dude, you are an unstoppable fucking force, and you can do anything, man, anything. And you have to you have to teach yourself delayed gratification. And that's one of the things with consistency is it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight. And when it doesn't happen overnight, or a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year or 2 years, like so on and so forth, like you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then basically teaching yourself, okay, I'm stacking days, and as long as I keep fucking stacking days, I'm going to get what I want, what I'm working for. I'm going to get it. But there's gonna come some times, man, where you're just like, can I keep doing this? When does it end? When do I get it? And you'll know when you'll get it. You'll know. Because more than likely, whatever it is, if it's something very deep to you, you'll break down. You will. You'll break down when you get it. And you're like, wow, like, that fucking journey that I just went on. Damn. And, you'll be a better person because of it, man. Just don't ever, 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 ever give up on yourself. Ever. Thanks for tuning in, guys. My name's Tayler Goodyear, and I own TG CNC Service out of Wisconsin. I will see you guys next week. We'll see you guys.